Hello friends, my name is Colin, and this is just sad. I'm talking really sad. I've been riding the last hour and a half, searching in my county. And now, albeit, this county is in the sticks, so I'm in southern Maryland, so I'm not like in a dense area. So you think there'd be some dirt roads. Unfortunately, there's hardly any out here. For those of you new to the channel, I do appreciate you stopping by. If you don't know this, I picked this Pan America up about 5 weeks ago. Well, technically, I bought it in February where I put the deposit down, and then I finally picked it up in late July, or like mid-late July. And when I bought it, I think the whole reason that I wanted to get into adventure bike riding is kind of like a different style, right? I have a 2017 Street Glide Special, and I've done many, many miles on that thing, and I absolutely love that bike. Done trips to Tennessee, North Carolina, Vermont, Maine, basically the entire Northeast. Put a lot of miles on her. So when I bought this, my intent was that my touring was going to pretty much stay on the Street Glide Special. Now obviously adventure bikes, they're designed to do touring, but they're more designed you do touring and then you go off-road, do different things, right? Saying that, after riding this thing for a month, could I do more touring on this Pan Am than I do in my Street Glide Special? We're going to answer that in just a second. Before I get into that, this app. So I want to talk, well, it's more of a web page. So I was talking about in the beginning how I can't find any freaking dirt. Well, there's some dirt right there, but that's a private driveway and I really don't want to go up it because I'll probably get shot where I live. But it's called gravelmap.com. Yeah, it's not an app, it's a website where you can go in and type in your address or type in the zip code and it'll tell you every unpaved road that's in your area. I mean, it does the entire United States. I think there'd be some dirt road. I'm surrounded by farms. It's not dense at all, like living near DC. But nope, not at all, not in this county. But I knew when I bought this thing that I would have to travel some distances to do some decent roads. So when you go on this app, there's a ton of roads in northern Maryland, which is like kind of west of DC, Virginia, West Virginia, ton of rides, but just not by me. Great app. If you haven't checked it out, it's a great opportunity to do some decent roads. But so like I'm riding around and I'm following this thing. It literally has like 3 little roads in this entire county, and I go to them. So I go to them, and then next thing you know, they're blocked off. They're like entrances to like state parks, and for some reason they're closed off, so I couldn't even do it. So I've been riding street this entire time. All right, back to the topic at hand. Could this be a tour? So what I want to do today is kind of talk about the differences. Now, before you even get started, you're probably like saying to yourself, because I would say the exact same thing, how the hell can you really give an honest opinion on someone that hasn't put a lot of miles touring on this thing? And I'd actually have to agree with you on that. It's kind of like when I go and I watch a review, I was like, do they have credibility? Do they look? But let me explain why I feel like I can do this. So normally when I do touring, I do anywhere from probably 300 to 500 miles a day. I'm not the guy that's going to try to stretch out 700, 800 miles. I'm going to enjoy myself. Now, and when I do touring, I normally stop probably every 90 to 120 miles to do some stretching. Now, I have a bad back, so I knew that I had to get some upgrades on the Street Glide Special when I really wanted to do some long distance touring, because before I did that, it was really painful of what I was going through when I was riding, especially long distances. But I'll get to that in just a second. I do have credibility because I did probably a 270 mile trip 2 days ago. I actually got on this bike and I wanted to test it. I wanted to see how I would do on touring. And knowing that I stop every 100 miles, basically if I do 270, 300, it's the same as basically doing 500. So I wanted to get my feel. I wanted to see how my butt felt. I wanted to see how shocks did. I wanted to see how the engine did. A lot of different things that go into this. So hopefully you'll give me that credibility, because I'm a straight shooter and I'll tell you what it's like. So would I take this touring over my Street Glide? So each one. So first, let's talk about comfort. So with this is the stock seat. So I don't think but one manufacturer, I think Corbin, and I had a Corbin seat once a long time ago on my Fat Bob. It wasn't bad. It was a little firm, but I think they're the only company that's making an aftermarket seat. So, but when I sat on this thing originally, this thing is like super squishy. It's very comfortable. but let's see how it does on long rides. Now on this one, I stopped it probably the first time, I think I stopped around 80 miles because I had to take a major piss. But other than that, I think the second stop was after another 100 miles. And I will say that it felt fine. It wasn't an issue. I mean, it felt not as good, I'll put it this way. So on my Street Glide, I have a Mustang seat. And that Mustang seat is like sitting on butter. Before that, I went through a couple different seats to find the right one that would fit my back issues, and I found it with that Mustang. But with a stock seat on the Pan Am, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, I kind of tightened up a little bit, maybe after that 80, 85 miles, but nothing like a stock seat on, like, because on the stock seat on the Street Glide Special, let's just be honest, it blows. It's not really good. And I didn't feel that with this. So from a comfort standpoint, I think both you get the check marks on that. Okay, the second thing would probably be position. So when you're riding, especially when I'm riding the Street Glide, I sit back. I'll be the first to admit. I got my feet up on the highway pegs, and they're forward pegs. So with the Pan Am, you have mid pegs. So I had to get used to that. But even after riding that long distance, it wasn't bad. It actually, I enjoyed riding that position for extended miles. I thought in the beginning that it would really come back to haunt me doing those long miles, just sitting in that one position. But it's kind of like a natural position. Now, saying that, I would love to have highway pegs. I would like to change positions, knowing because my feet are like right under my seat, whereas before my kind of feet are out like this. Don't think Harley makes them yet, but I'm sure there's some aftermarket ones that I would like to do. I'd like to get them set up that where if I do go off-road and I tip the bike, that they're not going to break off. So I don't know if they make something specifically for adventure bikes. I'm sure they do. I'll look into it. But overall, the riding position wasn't bad. Now, saying that, on the riding position of Street Glides, it's like freaking awesome, man. I mean, that's like really fun for me, just kind of chilling back, sitting back, get my feet propped up. Next, suspension. Now, the Harley suspension I had for about 3 years before I realized that I probably should have made that investment when I first bought that bike, because the Harley stock suspension, well, I didn't hate it, but I didn't know what I was missing. I picked up the Rebo A's for the Street Glide Special, and those things are awesome. They made such a world of difference in the ride. You set it to 12-inch sag, set your rebound how you want it. And I'm very comfortable with it. I haven't had any issues with them. With this one, it's automatic. So it's based on your riding style, your different riding styles, how it adjusts the suspension, it adjusts to weight. So it makes it very easy to set up. This suspension is awesome. I can't tell you how good this suspension is. You don't feel the bumps. It's very comfortable to ride. I love it. I mean, so I was very, very surprised after riding this a long distance how well the suspension held up. Engine performance. Okay, now this is tricky because I have a stage 3 on my Street Glide Special, and obviously this is stock. This has 150 horsepower. I don't have nearly that amount on the Street Glide Special, but they're geared different too. Like you're going to get a lot more low-end torque, and on the stage, you're going to get your peak probably around that 35 to 45 to maybe 5,000 RPMs, not stock, but the stage 3. And that thing has get up and go, man. It freaking goes. That thing is badass. I love having that stage kit on there. It really makes a difference. This just has so much power, it's insane. I mean, it's almost 300 pounds lighter than the Street Glide. You worry about, hey, even with a full load, can you easily pass cars? And absolutely, I did it a couple times. And this is a riding. It's different in riding. What I mean by that is this is high revving. So you're going to get your peak more probably around that 5,000 to 7,000 mark. Not necessarily, because right now I think I'm close to 3,500. I'm just I'm at 52. I'm only in 5th gear, but I could probably easily be in 3rd gear and be fine. But riding wise, from a power standpoint, this definitely has more power because it's lighter. It's got more horsepower, but at the same time, I still have plenty on that Street Glide. The last thing is storage. So with this, I picked up the panniers. I just came in recently, and I got the top case. So if you compare them kind of like apples to apples, The storage on the Street Glide, I have the Tour Pack. It's a detachable one. It didn't come with one. I don't have the Ultra, even though my friends tell me I have a Street Glide Ultra. I added the detachable Tour Pack. I put a luggage rack on top, so like if I want to do long distances, I have one of those Rick Rack bags, and I have another motorcycle bag that I can attach to it. So from a top case standpoint, compared to the Street Glide, you have more space in the Tour Pack. Not a ton, but you do have more space. And then if you can put something on top of the luggage rack, you're absolutely going to get it. Now you can attach stuff to the top of these top cases and the panniers. They've got places where you can strap stuff on, so you can strap a tent, different jacket, whatever you want to put on it, but they have places where you can add to it. The panniers are about the same. I don't know the exact measurements, but just looking at side to side, they're about equal than a saddlebag. So while you might get more storage space with the Street Glide, but it's not a lot, honestly. You could easily do it with this. So at the end of the day, I got to ask myself, what do I really want to do with touring? Do I want to take my Street Glide and kind of ignore it? No, I have options. I could do both. I don't plan on putting that away and saying, what's the point of me buying a second bike? If I didn't want to keep the bike, I would have traded it in. But no, I kept it because I knew that I would do touring, and I still plan on doing that. Point is, can you do it on this? You absolutely can. Adventure bikes, they're designed to go on pavement. They're designed to go long distances, but at the same time, they're designed to go off-road. I can't do that with my Street Glide Special, but I can do that with this. I could see myself doing more long-distance riding with this based off that first, basically, 300-mile trip I did, and feeling it, because at the end of the day, when I came back, I felt fine. I felt good. I had a great exhilarating day of riding. Put a lot of miles on Winston here, and the bike did great. So, I don't know. I wanted to get your guys' take and see what your thoughts are. There's really, you're going to have two schools of thought here. You're going to have people say, no freaking way. That bike's not designed for it. You want to buy a true tourer that's got all the amenities. Of course, like they have a stereo system. You can kick your feet up a lot higher. There are some definitely pros to sticking to the Street Glide. But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know if those pros are going to say, well, I have to ride that for touring, because I can definitely do this. So let me know your thoughts. As always, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch. Now get out there and ride. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon. So look, there's a gravel road. There's another road I'm going to get shot at if I go in.